Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw. This time is going to be on Piece by Piece. Now, this is a documentary of the telling of the life of Pharrell Williams. You know, the guy that made Happy and all those other songs. You know, he was basically the one that did a lot of the songs for Despicable Me, but he's a lot more than being known for just that. Of course, he was very popular at the time, making songs like "We're Up All Night to Get to the Zone," "We're Up All Night to Get Lucky," and other things like that. So, yeah, and this is his personal life story, but instead of it being told in regular form, it is done with Legos. Hence why the movie's called Piece by Piece. And throughout of his lifestyle, of course, we see how he became the famous musician that we all know and love, how he was known for his raps, and later on just became this big sensation who was just a regular, simple guy living in my hometown. And because this film takes place in Virginia Beach, yeah, this movie, there's a part of this movie that was definitely made for me because I grew up here. I'm in Virginia Beach right now visiting my dad, so the fact I got to see this in Virginia Beach, that just makes it all coincidentally interesting, at least in my perspective. But yeah, so despite the fact that this entire movie is, kind of like a Lego movie, it's nothing like the Lego movies. It has nothing to do with those films, as basically if you took the Legos out of the movie, it's basically just, it wouldn't really change anything that much. Though the movie is PG rated, I feel like if it was live action, it would probably get the PG-13 rating because there are elements of this movie that definitely aren't suitable for children. Like, I mean, hey, there are often times where they censor the word shit, but then there's often a time where they uncensor the word shit. So, yeah, it could have gotten PG-13. But yeah, before I go any further, one thing I really need to praise is the setting for this entire thing. The fact that it takes place in Virginia Beach and the way they set the entire thing up. It is done beautifully. Like the way they set up the entire like the beach area and the setups, even the Neptune statue, like we have that over here in Virginia Beach, and the way they set that up, it is absolutely outstanding and truly paying homage to my hometown. So definitely there's a part to this movie that was definitely made for me. And it's just nice knowing the fact that, you know, a famous musician grew up in a town that I lived in growing up. So yeah, that's truly the biggest element to this entire thing that I have to praise the most. But is there anything else I enjoy? Yeah, definitely. Despite the fact that, you know, this entire thing is set up in Lego form, I find it to be a bit more interesting too. But of course, you know, it doesn't really need the Legos, but I feel like just due to the fact that there are elements to the movie that could definitely use the Legos, like there are often times where it gets to like some trippy moments where, you know, it randomly goes into some various different songs and there are different like changes or, you know, elements to the film where, yeah, it definitely wouldn't be logical. But of course, this is a documentary, not a full, you know, film, you know, because there's a difference between, you know, because most people find documentaries boring. And yeah, there are often times in the movie where kids watching this and thinking, is there a story to this? And of course there is, but, you know, it's not like the Lego films where there's a lot of action and a lot of humor, though there is elements of humor to this that some people might complain isn't really necessary given how, you know, this is supposed to be a telling of a certain person's life, but I feel like it's nice just to manage to have fun with it without having to, you know, rely heavily on depressing moments. And there definitely are, like, there's an element to the film about where he had a really strong connection with his grandma, and it's very touching, and, well, I'm not going to go any further into spoilers, but chances are a lot of people are probably going to miss out on this film because Terrifier 3 is out, but hey, it's a movie I actually recommend giving a watch if you're a big fan of not just Legos, but Pharrell Williams. Because he's truly entertaining in this movie in his, on not just his, you know, character perspective, but the way it's handled in, you know, the telling of, you know, his connection with his family and his friends. It is done super well. And the way how it's entirely set up, even when it comes to the elements of, you know, song form and how it's done in Lego forms, I can say is very appealing. And despite the fact that, you know, it's not entirely necessary, I mean, it makes a lot more sense than how they use music in the new Joker movie, because this is a documentary about a musician, so that makes sense. And sure, there are often times where it isn't always necessary to go with its humor in terms of, you know, its retelling, but at the same time, I did find some of the humor to be very funny. The fact that, it isn't necessarily needed, but it's very intriguing because, Legos, they're known for having, wacky bits of humor in them. So it's something that I generally expected. And it truly makes the movie go by a lot quicker, as it's only an hour and 30 minutes, which I think is just the right amount of runtime for this film. So, yeah, you can definitely tell that they're definitely not trying to drag the entire thing out as they wanted to touch in the basics of this. In fact, I feel like the way it's handled is done generally well for the most part. And in the end, guys, Piece by Piece is definitely not something that everybody is going to find amusing just due to the fact that, it's told in a very different way rather than it just being another basic documentary. But I find it all the more appealing how, a lot of other audience members can get into this and the story of Pharrell Williams with, the very different ways they tell it in this form. And the fact that we all love Legos and Pharrell Williams is just such a talented musician, it makes it all, by the end of it, very, very, very intriguing. And by the end of it, yeah, this movie definitely made me feel, dare I say it, happy. So yeah, don't go into this movie expecting just another Lego movie, but, a documentary told in Lego form. It's not fully necessary, but hey, there are various different sets. Like anything could be a Lego set, and there have been very different sets. Like the rocket ship and various other familiar properties. And the way they handled it here, in paying homage to my hometown, it's truly what gives this movie a rank up for me. So yeah, I'm glad I saw it. So yeah, I recommend giving it a watch. And it was truly a treat seeing it over here in my hometown and as yeah. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.